to sign up with all the classes that they have available to them, because I'd really like to see those multiple compositions playing, but unfortunately, you do got to sign up with them.
Is this one of those games that's going to go deep dampening? I mean, you saw this series yesterday.
No,
so
it never hit dampening.
Isn't that weird? I feel like these Klba teams on EU just know how to kill each other way better than on US. It's strange. Yeah. I mean, I hate saying stuff like that, but we haven't hit dampening once, and it's just, yeah, Klba versus Klba, no dampening ever. It's surprising.
Right? I told you, it's going to be short.
Alright, we'll see how it goes. Looks like Zeepa and Blizo running straight onto Boetar, going to be training him down all game. The Recklessness, Bladestorm, Shockwave already coming out on him. He does have that wall up. He's going to be taking a little bit less damage. But Joefernandes also blowing his Recklessness, pressuring Blizo and Zeepa quite a bit. The Shaman coming out from Zeepa there, as well as the Ironbark onto Blizo from Klba. He does have that Vigil up, so his Hots are going to be extra powerful. Should be able to stabilize, but Boetar is still the one taking most of the damage.
Yeah, they're going on the Enhancement Shaman this time. Toxic Youth is looking at the Enhancement Shaman instead of going for that double healer race, as they did lose that. There's the full Hodge onto Klba, and no damage really going out, though. Boetar, though, he's still taking lots and lots of damage. They're switching it over onto Joefernandes. This turbo is just hitting whatever they can. It looks like Zeepa is definitely going to be the kill target for Toxic Youth, and Boetar definitely the kill target for We Will Win Bob Bob. But I don't know, they're going to have to get through the Shaman Rage many a times. 20 seconds until that Shaman Rage is back on Zeepa as well. And I mean, Klba, he still has his Trinket, he still has his Nature Swiftness. Boetar actually getting locked out of that Word of Glory, but he's going to be okay for now. It's just a wind shear. There's the Blade Sword coming out from Joefernandes. He wants to get Klba, and that double Shockwave coming out onto Swapxy and to Boetar. Boetar going down to 30% health here. Swapxy was in that Hex. The Save by the Light is going to proc as well. Boetar could be in some trouble. He's just trying to juke for his life, and the execution sentence is going to be forced. And Peter Pan doesn't like turbos.
And who really does? I mean, who can blame him? Just kidding. Blizo still taking most of the damage. It looks like, I mean, Swapxy and Joefernandes trying to pressure Zeepa as well as Blizo, just hitting the DPS, trying to peel for Boetar a little bit. It's going to be hard for them to really sit on Klba. He does get fully hodged and feared at the same time, so that was a little bit of overlap, but will it matter? Zeepa, the Shaman coming out from him, he's going to toss some heals on himself. He should be able to stabilize with that Ironbark as well as Shaman up. But that was a little bit of an overlap. I mean, if they didn't use the Hodge as well as the Fear at the same time, that could have actually been the kill. He's down to 25% HP. The Rallying Cry comes out from Blizo. He's going to catch some huge heals. Klba does have that Nature's Vigil up right now for the additional healing. Rallying Cry is going to fade. But like I said, if they didn't overlap that Hodge and that Fear, that could have been the game.
Yeah, that being said, they're still making efficient trades. The Shockwave goes out once again on the Boetar, Swapxy into the Hex, the Bash on the Joefernandes, the Cross CC is crazy. Blizo using that Reckless's Blade Storm now. Boetar should be okay. He has his bubble, he has his Trinket, he has a Bop, he has Ore Mastery, and he is playing that short wall in short bubble, so he knew he was going to be getting trained. But he's just got locked out. He's at 38% health here. There's a charge thing coming out as well into the full Shockwave. This might be the bubble, and he's just going to press it. No risk. So I was just about to say, I feel like the trades are going to be on Toxic Youth's side, but I'm not sure anymore. I mean, Zeepa is not... has a Shaman Rage available to him at this point. Klba is going to have his Trinket in 10 seconds. Nature Swiftness on cooldown, but Ironbark off cooldown. So they had an opening, but I think that overlap really did bite him in the butt. Shaman Rage now coming out for Zeepa, as this is the Reckless's Blade Storm coming out from Joefernandes. In this turbo, they're trying to get something done on this Enhancement Shaman, but I don't know. If we were looking at the mana right now, Klba's at 49% mana, so maybe if they keep him in combat, they might be able to take this Enhancement Shaman out late game.
Yeah, it's hard for Resto Druid to heal against an Enhancement Shaman. He has to be very inefficient because all of his Hots just get spam dispelled over and over. Klba caught into the Hodge. He is going to decide to just trinket that so we can keep the Hots rolling onto Zeepa and they can keep their pressure going. If we look, Zeepa has Ascendance up right now. He's going to pop that, and now Boetar is going to be in a lot of trouble. He has a Bop available as well as his Ore Mastery. Save by the Light coming out as well as the Ore Mastery. But once that Ore Mastery fades, he could be in a lot of trouble. I mean, Ascendance is still up for a little bit. Blizo taking a lot of damage, though, almost down into Execute range, hovering around 30% HP right now, getting chunked down. He has no Hots. Klba trying to get out those rejuves, finally throws out a huge NS, going to top him off with that Lay of Hands NS. Swapxy getting pressured though a lot, having to use that Shaman Wall, but looks like they're going to get back onto Boetar. Actually, Boetar able to get off a few hots there, able to sort of stabilize his own HP. Klba caught into that Hodge. Zipai going to respond to that by popping his Shaman Wall, trying to prevent a little bit of the incoming damage. Swapxy getting pressured so much, though. Boetar blowing those wings, trying to get some heals onto Swapxy at the moment. Joefernandes caught into that full Cyclone by Klba. Beautiful CC coming out from him, and that was the save by the light on Swapxy, and he doesn't have a Shaman Wall for another 30 seconds.
Yeah, Boetar forcing to pop himself. It's going to get purged off. It's going to give him enough breathing room. The double shockwave on both these DPS. Blizo is in a stun in execute range. Die by the sword being forced. Klba into that Hodge. That almost was it for Blizo. He's got Recklessness up, but I mean, he wants to get offensive, but he just can't. The fear goes out on to Zipai and Blizo. He's at 30% health here, and even Boetar trying to get on the action, spamming that denounce onto Blizo. He wants to end it now. He's at 65% mana here. I think they're going to win the mana race if they continue doing it the way that they're doing it. Bubble is off a cooldown because of that talent too. It's only a 2.5 minute cooldown, so they're making efficient trades overall. The Hex onto Swapxy, the clone onto Joefernandes. Boetar is alone. He gets locked out. He's at 60% health here. Can he survive this double turbo in time? There's the execution set, and it's going to top off Boetar. He's going to be okay for now. The full Hodge onto Klba, and looks like they're just cleaving whatever is extended. Blizo is in that defensive stance as well. Zipai forced to use that shamanistic rage, and Swapxy seems to be the kill target now for We Will Win Baba. The fear goes out onto Boetar into the shockwave. Swapxy dipping down to about 30% health here. Saved by the Light's going to proc on him, and Boetar is actually going to go ahead and get locked out by Blizo. That could be a big lockout. He's going to get locked out again by the Wind Shear. Boetar could be in a lot of trouble. There's the wall coming out, but he's going to be okay. He can free cast now, but can he? The Hodge goes out. Saved by the Light procking. He's got nothing. He does have the bubble available to him if he needs it, so he's going to be okay for now. But now, there's the bubble, as I say. That Toxic Youth is on the back foot all of a sudden.
Yeah, and Boetar has nothing left. He does have the Avenging Wrath up. His Aura Master is going to be coming up in around 25 seconds. If he can hold on and stack those cooldowns together, he will be able to top himself off. Swapxy taking some damage. The Shaman Wall coming out from him. He has no trinket, no Shaman Wall available if they decide to go on him a little bit later. Blizo using that Recklessness Bladestorm, or sorry, just the Bladestorm there. But Klba caught into the full Hodge. Zipai down to 27% HP. Does have the Shaman Wall up, but is it going to be enough? Blizo also popping that parry. They're using everything they can while Klba's in CC, trying to get out those heals using Genesis, but all the hots are going to be purged. Nobody has any hots right now. This is a nightmare situation for Klba to be in. He has that Vigil up, gets the huge NS onto Zipai, throwing out some hots onto Blizo. Finally, he's going to be able to stabilize, but here's the Aura Mastery from Boetar. He's going to be able to get out of line of sight, pick himself up, but Zipai has that Ascendance up right now. He's going to be pressured so hard. He has no bubble. This could be the end of the game. The Save by the Light does proc on him, but he's not able to get off any cast. He gets locked out, catching a huge heal from Swapxy. He's just spamming out those healing surges over and over and over. Boetar caught into the full fear of the Rallying Cry coming out, but he's almost in execute range. He could just die, hovering around 30% HP, getting the Flash of the Light out finally. Zipai getting pressured a little bit here, but I think this is going to be over for Boetar as Rallying Cry fades, and he's going to get executed by Blizo, and that's going to be 1-0 for We Will Win Baba.
Yeah, I mean, using that bubble talent to rotate through his defensive cooldowns against this turbo is better, but I don't know, no cigar against this turbo with the Restoration Druid. Klba actually going for a drink there in the middle of the game, and that's why Blizo and Zipai dipped down so low. But he needed to. I mean, if the game continued to go that way, they were going to win the Mana War. But there it is. All right, the very first win's going to go to We Will Win Baba. All right. Alright, let's see here. Man. I don't know, Sony Digital. Why are you not subscribed? Alright, the next map chosen by Toxic Youth is going to be on Dalaran Sewers. Here we go. I'll see you guys in the next map. Alright everybody, welcome to Dalaran Sewers. We have the Turbo Mirror, but with a Holy Paladin and a Restoration Druid. Now so far the Restoration Druid has been proven to be better in this specific scenario, and I feel like it's because of well, Ironbark can't be dispelled versus say Bop can be, and as well as I mean, the defensive cooldowns to the Restoration Druid has a shorter cooldown, so when going up against like a team like this where a lot of the pressure is consistent and not like big burst damage, something like Ironbark might be better. But here we go. That being said, there's also 2 Enhancement Shamans, so and Restoration Druids rely on the HOTS quite a bit. You know, honestly, on paper, I would have said that the Paladin had the advantage, but here we go. This is going to be game 2 on Dalaran Sewers. Joefernandes is the one who's taking a bit of the heat from Blizo, but they're going to charge right on to Boetar. Boetar is going to go ahead and hodge him up. Zeepai taking some damage. Shaman Rage being forced, and that is... He's going to stabilize for now. The Shockwave going out onto Boetar, though. Boetar is running that short cooldown on Bubble and Wall. He's going to get locked out, though. Execution Sentence coming out, but it didn't do all that much. Rallying Cry is about to fade, and he's at 40% health here. Is this going to be a Bubble already? Saved by the Light proccing. There's the bash onto Swapxy. No off healing from his Restoration or his Enhancement Shaman. Boetar getting locked out again into the Shockwave. He has Avenging Wrath up at this point, and he's going to top himself off now.
And that was his trinket as well as his Avenging Wrath. Zeepai taking a lot of damage. Klba into that full hodge at the moment. Zeepai still has a few hots rolling on himself. Klba going to be out of that CC, throwing the Ironbark on him, and he should be able to top him off from the additional healing and the damage reduction from that Ironbark. Boetar's wing is now finally fading, and he's still just getting trained down. And like you said, on paper it seems like the Resto Druid would be at a disadvantage, but the problem is they can't sit on him like they can sit on Boetar. They just get to ride Boetar the whole game and sort of shut down his heals. Whereas Klba kind of gets the free cast, but now that I say that he's in the full hodge, he does have some Vigil Hots out onto Zeepai at the moment. Swapxy caught into that full hack, so there's going to be no Dispel for him. He has no Trinket available. He does get out of that finally, but Klba's not in any more CC, and he's going to be able to get those Hots rolling onto Zeepai and hopefully top him off. Boetar getting locked out at the moment, though. Still under a little bit of pressure. He does finally get away, gets to cast some Hots onto himself. He does get charged. Blizo reconnects onto him, but Joefernandes on his back trying to do his best to peel for Boetar so he can sort of stabilize his HP. But he is caught into that full shockwave. He does have his Save by the Light proc available. He still has a Bop as well as his Bubble ready to go. So at the moment, Boetar's looking okay.
Yeah, Joefernandes is doing a really good job punishing Blizo for just riding Boetar the whole time. He actually forced die by the sword there, but Save by the Light's going to proc for Boetar. He's going to be put into that fear as well. Joefernandes also taking a bit of damage. The Shockwave onto Blizo. The Hodge onto Klba is going to force his Trinket as Blizo doesn't have die by the sword. He's dipping relatively low here, but Joefernandes at the same time, he's going to go into battle stand or defensive stance, and die by the sword is going to be forced onto him now. Blizo, though, he's at 30% health here. He doesn't have die by the sword for just a little bit longer. For actually 2 whole minutes. Blizo could be the kill opportunity for Toxic Youth. Maybe. Boetar constantly just getting locked out by this double melee team. It's so hard to get a cast off, and the bubble is going to be forced.
Yeah, they have Shockwave to interrupt him. They have Charge Stun to interrupt him. They have Shock as well as Pummel. So it's hard. They just have so many ways to interrupt him and sort of disrupt his healing, and that's why it's so efficient to just sit on him the entire game. Klba getting pressured a little bit, though. He does have Barskin as well as Ironbark available. He's going to get away with that Displacer Beast, as well as that Sprint, tossing out a huge NS onto Zeepai. The wreck coming out from Blizo here. Joefernandes taking a little bit of damage, but Boetar caught into that full bash. He's going to decide to immediately Trinket that, so he has no Trinket, no Bubble available. He does have Bop, but he just got interrupted on Seal. Save by the Light is still available for him. Bop not particularly powerful against an Enhancement Shaman. Klba taking a little bit of damage, is able to get away once again, throwing the Ironbark on himself, but his entire team is rotting. He's having a very difficult time healing up. He's caught into the full hodge. Blizo going to use that parry there, that parry stun. The Zeepai throwing a big heal onto him. Zeepai doesn't have that Shaman Wall available for another 15 seconds, so he's definitely a decent target, but he does have that Ascendance up right now, trying to connect onto Boetar, trying to get some pressure rolling for their team, but we will win. Baba is just completely on the back foot.
Yeah, We Will Win Baba is also at 50% mana. Boetar can survive. There's the Shockwave. He's going to bop it off. It's still sticking. It's finally going to get purged now, right before that heal. So he's going to top himself off. If Boetar can survive throughout this game, they might be able to outlast this Restoration Druid Turbo. The double Shockwave onto Blizo and Zeepai. Klba now dipping relatively low. He almost was in execute range there. The double Fear onto Swapxy and onto Boetar. The Hex onto Swapxy. Out of that, he's going to sit it full. Boetar is in a little bit of trouble though. Aura Mastery coming up in 5 more seconds. He should be okay for now. Blizo now taking quite a bit of damage. They constantly are punishing Blizo this game for riding on to Boetar, which I think is working out for them. Blizo doesn't have a Die by the Sword for 55 more seconds, but there's the full Hodge on the Klba. They're going to swap over to him. He's dipping low. He is not using a Bark Skin or anything. I don't believe he has it for 5 more seconds. He gets charged stunned up into the Shockwave in human form. He's going to Trinket go to bear form, but in the background at the same time, Boetar just got locked out into the Shockwave. He could be in some trouble. He doesn't have his bubble for 16 more seconds. And both teams just training the healers, trying to make it a race. Boetar getting himself a big heal. Klba, though, he's still at 30% healthier, and Iron Bark and Barkskin are off cooldown once again. Nature Swiftness is going to come off a cooldown right now. He's going to be in bear form. He should be okay. The Nature Swiftness is going to bring him up quite a bit, but he gets hodged in human. He doesn't have a trinket. That could be it, but the warrior, Joefernandes, isn't going to be connecting right now. He's going to be peeling for Boetar. Boetar getting locked out once again into the Shockwave. He's going to trinket out of that. He's got his wall up. He's trying to get the heals off. Saved by the Light is going to proc. He does have a bubble available to him, so he's not going to die just yet, but these teams are trading blow for blow. 50% mana on Boetar. The bubble's force. Blizo now taking some damage. Iron Bark going on to him. He's still dipping low. He's at 35% healthier now. Zeepai is at 40% healthier. Klba is just under the pressure. The double Shockwave and Shaman Rage going out, and that was Recklessness coming out from Joefernandes, which is why they have so much pressure. The Hodge on the Blizo. He's at 29% healthier, and parry is forced again. Shaman Rage on Zeepai is about to fade as well. Klba's mana is still hovering at about 30. The triple Shockwave coming up from Blizo onto their entire team, into the full clone onto Joefernandes. Swapxy at 30% healthier, but Boetar is still the kill target as he does get locked out. He's dipping kind of low here though. He's got nothing left, so I don't know. The cooldowns, Boetar could just go down right now. He gets locked out. He's at 2% health, and he's going to get executed, and We Will Win Baba is going to advance.
Dang. Those Turbo Clave mirrors, man.
That was something else.
He was getting a lot of good clones there. They had good coordination with the Shockwave clones. Those are important. Although it was